And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Roster Report here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. My name is Katie Owado, aka the Conscious Roster. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 8 p.m. East Africa time. We get together with you, and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflicts, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Monday, the 29th day of September, 2025 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6266 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we have realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livinginblack.com. We have a fascinating topic for you today. I hope you can relate to it. I think a lot of us can relate to it and really have not had the opportunity to address this issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to address this issue today here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livinginblack.com. Let me do this 1 second here to kind of clear up a little desktop memory so I can have the show on for today. And let me share with you the introduction. Where are we at? It's over here. Here we go. Let me share the introduction. Today, we take a somewhat light-hearted look at a condition that unfortunately affects too many, men and women. Mostly men, but it also does affect women. It is known, especially as they mature, it deals with the urge to get up in the middle of the night to pee, known as nocturia. The situation arises by an increasing sensitivity in the nerves surrounding the bladder. For many people, especially as we age, getting back into REM sleep is very difficult to do. So let's take a functional medicine approach to getting a solution, finding a solution to nocturia using zero drugs. Today we're talking about a functional medicine approach to nocturia, otherwise the midnight Ep-Pee-Sode. Let's go into our talk today. I do hope we have a good audience for today. If you do like the show at any given point, hit the like button. That tells the algorithm that you are into what we're talking about. First, I'm going to go to the Cleveland. No, I'm not going to go there yet. Let's just put up this little short video. It's not very long. Video's just 3-4 minutes, less than that even. I'm going to add this to the stage, and let's play this video on nocturia.
Tired of waking up to pee? Your diet might be the solution. Nocturia disrupts sleep for millions, but these 4 superfoods can help naturally. Bananas contain potassium and magnesium that balance fluids and relax your bladder muscles, helping you hold urine longer through the night. Tart cherries are nature's sleep aid, packed with melatonin and antioxidants that reduce bladder inflammation, the hidden cause of frequent urination. Pumpkin seeds strengthen bladder muscles with zinc and fatty acids. Just a handful daily improves control significantly. Greek yogurt with live cultures balances gut bacteria, directly improving bladder health, while calcium calms overactive bladder muscles. Try adding these foods to your evening routine for just 1 week. Most
I'm
people
going to let
see
that
results
play.
in days. Which food will you try
Well,
first? Comment below and subscribe. Learn daily for more natural health tips. Tired?
I'm going to play that again a bit later. It was somewhat brief, but very useful. And I will share the link to this on the YouTube page. And I see in the YouTube family, I have Basu Nefert Ra Sashat Akwaba. Welcome, Sister Basu Randa. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Basu Ra Nefert Ra Seshat. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Also, I'm going to post this up for our not you now, it's the Rumble family, which is our main broadcast site. We appreciate, love having you in the house today. This is a very serious topic, and we don't necessarily have to take it too seriously. I pulled up a bunch of jokes. I pulled up a bunch of jokes for this topic on today. Let me just share a little bit of it. 2 jokes I'll share. One says, quote, I love clarified butter, but it makes me urinate way too frequently. Gee whiz, or gee whiz, I should say. Gee whiz. And the second one, Putin asks Zelensky, when I'm dead, I bet you will come to urinate on my grave. Zelensky replies, nah, I've never been fond of waiting in line. So we're going to take a somewhat light-humored view of this subject. I hope you are inspired by what you are hearing today. So going forward, where we at? I have a lot of information. First, we're going to go to the Cleveland Clinic. And I have this link, Basu Nefert Ra Sishat. I'm going to get your name right. Uja all, the title of today's session is Hilarious Baba Kitty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't want to take this subject too seriously. And I'm trying to change up LIB Radio to reflect less intensity of the research and a little more air to breathe, to laugh, to have other areas of experience with today's program. So I am glad to have you with us. I'm glad you do appreciate it, love it. For Africa One, I see you in the house joining us from UK on the Rumble channel. For Africa One, right? So Tep Brother Kitty and Global LIB family. And let's go into today's topic. We're going to go to, I did post that one up. I posted it up twice there. I'm looking for Nocturia from the Cleveland Clinic. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to post this up on Rumble, post it up here for our YouTube family. And I also need to post this other link that I had up for the YouTube family. And let's go into this next body of research from the Cleveland Clinic. And excuse me 1 second here. Here's what they have to say. The most common cause of nocturia, frequent nighttime urination, is nocturnal polyuria, which is the production of an excessive amount of urine at night. Other factors include lifestyle choices, such as drinking too much fluid before bed, certain medications, and underlying health conditions like overactive bladder, enlarged prostate in men, and sleep apnea. That is very inconclusive and incomplete. We're going to do a better job than that, and I do need to wet my whistle. We're going to do a better job than that. Common causes: nocturnal polyuria, producing too much urine at night, often linked to hormonal issues or certain medical conditions. 2, lifestyle habits: consuming excessive amounts of fluids, especially caffeine or alcohol, before bedtime can increase nighttime urination. 3, medications: diuretics, water pills, and other medications can increase urine production at night. Point 4, overactive bladder. The condition causes an involuntary bladder contraction, leading to a sudden and urgent need to urinate. Point 5, enlarged prostate. In men, an enlarged prostate can compress urethra, leading to incomplete bladder emptying and more frequent urination. And lastly, obstructive sleep apnea, OSA. The sleep disorder is linked to nocturia and can be identified by symptoms like snoring. Other contributing factors: 1, urinary tract issues, infections, inflammation, or obstruction in the bladder, urethra, or other primary urinary organs. 2, diabetes. Poor kidney function due to diabetes can also lead to nocturnal polyuria. Point 3, heart conditions. What? Heart conditions? Heart failure can cause fluid to accumulate in the legs during the day and be reabsorbed into the bloodstream at night, increasing urine production. That's also known as edema. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Point 4, pregnancy and childbirth. Hormonal changes and the pressure of a pregnancy, as well as the effects of childbirth, can contribute to nocturia in women. And lastly, edema. Swelling in the legs due to fluid retention can also increase nighttime urination. My wife just said to me, I'm not married. My wife just said to me, "You're an 8 on a scale of 10. I'm confused. Why did she ask me to urinate on a skeleton? Oh, this is a good one. I'm going to tell another joke here. Bear with me. A 90-year-old man goes to the doctor for his annual checkup. 15 minutes later, the doctor says, "Your health is good physically, but what about mentally? How is your connection with God?" The old man replies, "Me and God are tight. We're in a real connection. He even fixed my eyesight for me. Whenever I go to the bathroom to pee, the light turns on, and when I exit, the light turns off." The doctor is astonished. He calls the man's wife and says, "Madam, your husband's physical health is good. I'm calling as I'm surprised with his connection to God. Is it true that when he goes to the toilet to urinate, the light turns on, and when he exits, the light turns off?" The wife replies, "Stupid, Robert. He's been peeing in the fridge again." I think I heard of someone's child was peeing in the refrigerator. I think I heard that. I hope it wasn't a joke. But that's not a. If your child is doing that, obviously that's not a very good condition. Let's talk about something was not mentioned by the Cleveland Clinic. And we're going to talk, this is from a functional medicine position. We're going to talk about glycine, an amino acid. Glycine may help improve nocturia symptoms. Glycine, simple glycine. Improvement of urine storage systems. Studies have shown that oral glycine can improve urine storage symptoms, including nocturia, urgency, and urge incontinence. In a clinical study, patients taking glycines, reportedly 3 grams of glycine were necessary, reported significant improvements in these symptoms compared to those taking a placebo. Glycine appears to enhance bladder function and reduce the frequency of bladder contractions, which can lead to fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom. Point 2, the mechanism of action. Glycine is an amino acid that acts as an inhibitory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system. It plays a role in the micturition reflex, which is the process of urination. By modulating this reflex, glycine may help improve bladder control and reduce the urgency to urinate. And it talks about the link to antidiuretic hormone, ADH. Glycine may also influence the release of antidiuretic hormone, ADH, a hormone that helps regulate water balance in the body. ADH levels typically rise at night to reduce the need for urination during sleep. As glycine is linked to increased ADH release, it may help mitigate nocturia by promoting better water retention and reducing nighttime urination. So, in summary, glycine may be beneficial for individuals experiencing nocturia by improving bladder function and potentially increasing ADH levels. However, it is essential to consult with a healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, especially for those with underlying health conditions or those taking other medications. Further research is needed to understand fully the extent of glycine's effects on nocturia and its long-term safety and efficacy. That sounds pretty interesting. And that last little part is, of course, your standard, what's it called? Yeah, it's reminding you, always consult your healthcare professional. So I can't think of the word right now, but you understand what I'm saying. Let's go forward. Next, I have a little bit more from AI search. We're looking at dietary glycine, and this is very, very important. I'm going to put up a link to glycine. You can get it on Amazon, which glycine, it's amino acid, and it's not expensive, and it apparently is easily tolerated as a supplement. Dietary glycine has shown potential in improving symptoms associated with nocturia, particularly in individuals with overactive bladder or related storage issues. A clinical study involving 20 urology outpatients found that taking 3 grams of glycine twice daily for 4 weeks significantly reduced the number of nocturnal voids, urinary urgency, urge incontinence, and the total score on the overactive bladder system score, OABSS. Improvements were also observed in the International Prostate Symptom Score, IPSS, for urine storage systems, blood pressure, and the Nocturia Quality of Life Score, NQOL score, with 8 of 13 items on the NQOL improving. Additionally, participants reported better sleep, latency, longer time to first nighttime void, reduced bladder pain, and improved global self-assessment of symptom improvement. No adverse events were reported in this study. Anecdotal evidence from online forums suggests that higher doses of glycine, such as 10 grams before bedtime, may also help reduce nighttime urination due to its potential anti-diuretic effect. Some users also reported combining glycine with small amounts of salt or other supplements like theanine and magnesium to support sleep and bladder control. Another study using a glycine-containing supplement, Urox, reported a reduction of about one nighttime urination episode per night over 8 weeks, although this study involved a different formulation and dosage. While glycine appears to primarily affect nighttime symptoms without significantly altering daytime urination frequency, its role in improving sleep quality and bladder control is supported by both clinical and anecdotal findings. A functional medicine approach to nocturia may include the use of glycine as a dietary supplement based on evidence suggesting its role in modulating the micturition reflex through spinal glycinergic inhibition. I'll repeat that sentence. It's a little weighty on a few of those words. A functional medicine approach to nocturia may include the use of glycine as a dietary supplement based on evidence suggesting its role in modulating the micturition reflex through spinal glycinergic inhibition. Clinical studies have shown that oral administration of 3 grams of glycine twice daily for 4 to 8 weeks can improve the urine storage symptoms in patients with overactive bladder. Specifically, treatment with glycine has been associated with a reduction of nocturnal voids, urinary urgency, and urge incontinence, along with improvements in overall symptom scores, such as the Overactive Bladder Symptom Score, OABSS, and the International Prostate Symptom Score, IPSS, storage subscore. In one study involving 20 urology outpatients, 16 men and 4 women with an OABSS greater than 3, switching from placebo glucose to glycine resulted in significant improvements in nighttime urination frequency, urgency, bladder pain, sleep latency, and quality of life measures. These benefits are thought to stem from glycine's action as an inhibitory neurotransmitter in the spinal cord, where it dampens the afferent signals involved in bladder overactivity. Notably, no adverse events were reported in these trials, indicating a favorable safety profile for glycine supplementation at this dosage. I can recall earlier in the year we had a couple of brothers came out to our place here in Desert Shores for in-house residency. We do have a room we've set aside for people to come and stay and eat the food. We show documentary films and we study every day. And it's all towards the aim of getting quickly to a solution. Now, it's not cheap, but it's not nearly as expensive as going to stay with Dr. Furman or Dr. Gabriel Cousins. Much cheaper than that. Much cheaper than Dr. Furman. I think we're like a third of the cost. But when the brothers came out, both of them had overactive bladders, and they were getting up as much as 3 times at night to go empty their bladder. That's a lot. Now, I have been getting up 1 time every night to empty mine. Mine is after 4 hours after having my last drink. So that's not so bad. But the thing about it is that it can get worse until you're coming up with the overactive bladder syndrome and the prostate symptom score. And both brothers had the PSA imbalance, let's say. they had swollen prostates, not the prostate cancer, but hyperplasia. So we want to pay real close attention to these things. And again, no drugs required. They were both on medical prescription drugs, and the medical prescription drugs were problematic, really quite problematic. So we can do better than that. Additionally, low serum glycine levels have been observed in patients with conditions linked to nocturia, such as benign prostate hyperplasia and spinal cord injury. And in one brother's case, he had both spinal cord injury and benign prostate hyperplasia. He did do a lot better. He spent 2 weeks here, and we sent him home with a protocol to change his diet, change his nutrition, to go vegan. Yeah, all my clients are advised to go strictly vegan. And if you're not preparing your own food and you're in the Las Vegas area, I will prepare the food. You can come by and pick it up. But we do, for everyone who I'm dealing with as a client, you're advised to go strictly vegan, plant-based, 100%. Additionally, low serum glycine levels have been observed with patients with conditions linked to nocturia, such as benign prostate hyperplasia and spinal cord injury, further supporting a potential pathophysiological role for glycine deficiency in reduced bladder capacity. While larger studies are needed, current findings suggest that glycine supplementation may be a safe and effective component of a functional medicine strategy. Functional medicine is our key strategy here for managing nocturia, particularly in individuals with overactive bladder or prostate-related urinary symptoms. Now, we understand that these conditions of nocturia, overactive bladder, urgency, incontinence, pretty much accompany us as we're maturing and we elder. So therefore, to all my baby boomers in the audience, you do want to be paying very close attention to what we're talking about here today. But also to those who are on the cusp. Now we see the Gen X are now moving into their retirement years. You do want to address this in advance. You want to engage in preventative pathophysiology? That's pathogenesis. That's the word I'm looking for. You want to use as early intervention as possible and prevent this from ever happening. So therefore, Gen X, you heard it. You heard it. And Gen X is already dealing with some serious health crises. We're seeing cancer diagnosis in the Gen X has gone up significantly from the cancer diagnosis in the baby boomers, and it's getting worse. So please, people, pay attention to what I say. Please do the best that you can. I have another joke I want to relate to you. I had a bunch of jokes over here. Where did they go? Did I? I have a bunch of jokes I pulled up, but I'm not in the mood right now. I'll maybe in a little bit we'll come up with them. Let's talk about. We got through that section. I want to talk. Oh, we need to start recommending some foods. Now, I'm going to play the video again. You heard it at the beginning of the program. I'm going to play this video one more time, and I'm going to add. Now, this gentleman is listing 4 superfoods for prostate health. I'm going to add quite a bit to it. So let's go into this one. Don't do that, do this. And let's
Tired of
play
waking up to
this video.
pee? Your diet might be the solution. Nocturia disrupts sleep for millions, but these 4 superfoods can help naturally. Bananas contain potassium and magnesium that balance fluids and relax your bladder muscles, helping you hold urine longer through the night. Tart cherries are nature's sleep aid, packed with melatonin and antioxidants that reduce bladder inflammation, the hidden cause of frequent urination. Pumpkin seeds strengthen bladder muscles with zinc and fatty acids. Just a handful daily improves control significantly. Greek yogurt with live cultures balances gut bacteria, directly improving bladder health, while calcium calms overactive bladder muscles. Try adding these foods to your evening routine for just 1 week.
All right. Let's go back to my research. I pulled up not 4, but a number of different. There's probably, I think, 10 superfoods that we can add to our nutrition. He did mention bananas. Bananas are rich in potassium. Bananas help maintain fluid balance and can reduce the need to urinate at night. Cranberries, known for their urinary tract health benefits, cranberries can prevent harmful bacteria buildup, which can contribute to nocturia. Number 3, oatmeal. Oatmeal is high in fiber. Oatmeal provides digestive health, reducing bladder pressure and the frequency of nighttime trips to the bathroom. Number 4, yogurt, and I'll specifically say non-dairy yogurt. It is a culture. Probiotic rich yogurt supports digestive and bladder health by maintaining a healthy bacterial balance and reducing inflammation. Very important. He did mention tart cherries. Tart cherries are beneficial for sleep due to their melatonin content and can also help reduce bladder inflammation. He did mention pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds contain omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium, which soothe the urinary tract and relax bladder muscles. Pumpkin seeds, we know, are also very, very good for the man's prostate. They also contain zinc, a very important nutrient in that area. Apples. Apples provide soluble fiber and antioxidants that can help prevent bladder irritation. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are high in potassium. They can also help reduce fluid retention and promote muscle relaxation, aiding in better sleep. Sweet potatoes are lovely, one of our favorites. I think I'm going to go buy some sweet potatoes next time I eat. Watermelon. While high in water content, consuming watermelon earlier in the day can help balance fluids without increasing nocturia risk. And last on the list, almonds. Almonds are packed with magnesium. They can relax bladder muscles and support stable blood sugar levels. Magnesium, a very, very important nutrient there. And why is somebody calling me? Sorry about that. Go away. Let me just turn this down. I know what it is. It's somebody calling me from Africa. So let's just turn that off. Let me just turn this off. Power off. Go out. Go away. Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you. Please avoid calling me during the show. Um, there's a question comment for African One writes, I presume glycine is not a cure, or is it? And I wrote back, partial cure, but not enough. I like glycine. Glycine sounded like it was going to be pretty powerful, but I noticed in the response it hedged. And as part of a functional medicine solution, glycine is part. But people frequently say, well, what supplement do I take to fix this, to fix that? It don't work like that. We do see that our glycine levels, as we age, decline inside the body. So supplementation with glycine is very, very important. But I am going to order some glycine. I think I'll order it today. And I'm going to start using it. 3 grams a day. That's about 2 capsules of glycine. I'm going to order it. And I will keep you abreast of my progress. Like I say, I get up 1 time per night. But this has been fairly recent, maybe just since it's definitely after age 50, I think after age 60 or so. So, I don't necessarily want to stay in that routine because it's hard for me to fall back to sleep. I kind of have to time it sometimes by forcing myself to wake up earlier to urinate. Because if I do it before 3, I have no problem getting back to REM sleep. But if I do it and I have to urinate after 4, I may just lie awake for 2 more hours until it's time for me to get up. Shabaka is in the house. I see you, my brother. He says, greetings, Baba and LIB family. I'm always ready to learn something new and helpful. Thank you. And thank you, Brother Shabaka, for being with us today as we address this subject, Nocturia, your midnight Ep-Pee-Sode. So we're having a little bit of fun with it today, too. And we do continue. Where am I at? Behind that at, my dad would say, what do you call a pirate who urinates on people? Arr, 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 Kelly. That's not bad. That's not a bad joke. A rural farm wife called the local phone company to report her telephone failed to ring when her friends called, and that on a few occasions when it did ring, her dog always moaned right before the phone rang. The telephone repairman proceeded to the scene, curious to see why the psychic dog or senile lady, curious to see this psychic dog or senile lady. He climbed a telephone pole, hooked on his test set, and dialed the subscriber's number. The phone didn't ring right away, but when the dog moaned, and then the dog moaned, and the telephone began to ring. Excuse me, I'm having a hard time reading this. Climbing down from the pole, the telephone repairman found 1. The dog was tied to the telephone system's ground wire with a steel chain and collar. 2. The wire connection to the ground rod was loose. 3. The dog was receiving 90 volts of signaling current when the number was called. After a couple of jolts, the dog would start moaning and then urinate. And 5. The wet ground would complete the circuit, thus causing the phone to ring, which demonstrates that some problems can be fixed by it says that some problems can be fixed by pissing and moaning. Woo! Some problems can be fixed by pissing and moaning. That was funny. That was funny. That was a real good one. Ah, one more time. One more joke. I figured out why the term is urinate. Because because if you wait until it's a urine 10, then you're in trouble. If you wait until it's a urine 10, then you're in trouble. That was funny. I'm still laughing at the dog joke, pissing and moaning. Oh boy, that was a good one. Okay, let's keep going, and we do the best one. We do the best we can. And Shabaka said, "Yeah, that was a good one." Okay. Oh boy, where we at? Behind that app, my dad would say. We are up here, and we continue foods to avoid. We talked about the good foods: almonds, watermelons, sweet potatoes, apples, pumpkin seeds, cherries, tart cherries, non-dairy yogurt, oatmeal, cranberries, and bananas. Foods to avoid: caffeine, found in coffee, tea, and some sodas. Caffeine is a diuretic that can increase urine production. Number 2, alcohol. Alcohol can irritate the bladder and lead to increased urination. And alcohol can also make you stupid, so you pee in somebody else's bed. I want to avoid that situation. Well, no, I'm gonna avoid it. It was not nasty. It was nasty. And it was a bad episode. I will only tell this joke in private. If you see me in person, say, Keely, tell me about the time you went to Alaska. Foods to avoid: spicy foods. This can irritate the bladder and exacerbate symptoms of nocturia. 4, acidic foods. Citrus fruits and tomatoes may irritate the bladder and should be consumed in moderation. Additional tips: stay hydrated, drink enough water throughout the day, but limit fluid intake in the hours leading up to bedtime to reduce nighttime urination. And that's my issue, is that I do drink plenty of fluids throughout the day, about 4 to 6 16-ounce bottles. This is a 16-ounce bottle. I drink about 4 to 6 of these per day. And that works real well in the summertime. But now the season is starting to change, and I am evaporating less fluids. And so therefore, I usually stop drinking. I will not drink a full bottle of this after about 6 or 7 p.m. And that allows me 4 hours until I'm going to bed, and then I urinate just before bed. But 4 hours after that, or 5 hours after that. Last night it was what? I went to bed at 11 and I woke up at 3, so it was 4 hours. I have to urinate again. Most nights it's 4 hours. So that's not bad. Monitor your diet. Additional tip: keep a food diary to identify any specific foods that may trigger nocturia symptoms for you. By incorporating these bladder-friendly foods into your diet and avoiding irritants, you help manage nocturia and improve your overall sleep quality. And that's pretty good. So in conclusion, there is another article that I have here that I want to share with you. And this one is from the GorillaDiet.com, Gorilla Health. And it is entitled "Increasing ADH to reduce nighttime urination. Now, the article is a picture, so it won't let me copy that, not the title, but from Gorilla Health, and I'm going to paste that one in the Rumble. This is the link to the article. I'm going to paste the same article up in YouTube, and the same article I'm going to put on my Facebook page. And I'm going to put it up here one more time. And this article, and I'm going to paste this up in the research for today. And one more time on Facebook. Here is the final article that I'm going to paste up for today. This article says increasing ADH to reduce nighttime urination, Nocturia, naturally. Many people have problems with urinating too often during the night. It can be very annoying if it persists and can increase stress levels and lead to heightened irritability during the day when it affects sleep quality. One second. When it affects sleep quality. The good news is that most people can eliminate this problem, also known as nocturia, by increasing the production of ADH, anti-diuretic hormone, with a proper diet and supplements. What is ADH? Anti-diuretic hormone, or vasopressin, is a hormone produced in the adjacent hypothalamus in the brain, and then stored in the pituitary gland, where it is released according to need. In the adjacent, that's the word, produced in the adjacent hypothalamus in the brain, and then stored in the pituitary gland, where it is released according to need. Its primary role is to keep the amount of water in your body balanced and to balance your blood pressure, either by constricting blood vessels when the blood pressure is low or increasing the amount of water reabsorbed back into the circulation from the filtrate in the kidneys. A regular amount of ADH in your body makes sure that you're well hydrated, which results in a better mood and better health and well-being. Additionally, ADH also has a role in improving memory, in the release of stress hormones, regulating body temperature, social and sexual behavior, and the circadian rhythm. ADH production and release is very active during the night, reducing the need for urination, which is why we rarely need to wake up after a few hours to visit the bathroom. ADH production also supports liver health. Reasons for low ADH levels? Lower levels of ADH is caused by one of two reasons and is known as diabetes insipidus. The reasons for low circulating ADH levels involve either a decrease in the production of ADH by the adjacent hypothalamus or a decreased release of ADH by the pituitary gland. Common symptoms include excessive urination, which is called polyuria, followed by extreme thirst, which is called polydipsia. With aging, ADH production decreases. When your body is not producing enough ADH, it will excrete too much water, which inevitably results in constant thirst and frequent toilet visits, leading to dehydration. Low levels are also connected to bedwetting in children. And give me a second here. I have to clear my throat. How to increase your ADH levels naturally. Firstly, plain and simple advice involves drinking less beverages after 4 p.m. Especially avoid alcohol and caffeinated beverage consumption after this time, since they are diuretics, leading your body to produce more urine. When it comes to supplements, forskolin root extract is known to have a significant impact on ADH release. It's made from the root of a traditional Ayurvedic medicine plant. Besides the many positive effects it has, one of them is causing a higher increase of ADH7. Besides, I don't know if that's ADH7 is a formula or 7 is a point of reference. No, this is a reference. Besides the many positive effects forskolin has, one of them is causing a higher release of ADH. However, you should consult with your doctor before taking this supplement, as it shouldn't be mixed with certain medications, including beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, clonidine, and high blood pressure lowering drugs. So if you have hypertension, you are not advised to use forskolin. Now I'm going to look up forskolin and what is forskolin good for. Okay, so I'm going to pull that up in just a second, and let's go back to the article. When it comes to your diet, salt consumption will affect how often you visit the toilet. Decreasing salt intake has been shown to have a positive effect on the frequency of urination. Now that's just the exact opposite of what I heard or I read yesterday. To increase your salt, and it will help to hold back the water. So again, we remember these things. When it comes to your diet, salt consumption will affect how often you visit the toilet. Decreasing salt intake has been shown to have a positive effect on the frequency of urination, especially at night. Also, when using salt, aim to use natural, unrefined salts that are rich in trace minerals, are not exposed to harsh chemicals, and do not have plastics in them. For example, Dead Sea salt and salt from the Colima mines of Mexico, although in low quantities. Although there are no research studies done on the consumption of raisins before bed to reduce nighttime urination. Apparently for some people, it really works and has excellent results. Since there is no reason not to consume raisins before bedtime, I do recommend trying them. Additionally, glycine, an amino acid, is linked to an increase in ADH release. To increase the amount of glycine you consume on a plant-based diet, increase your intake of peas, beans of all sorts, and legumes. You may also consider taking a glycine supplement, but this is not recommended during pregnancy or lactation, not recommended for young children or people with kidney or liver disease. Otherwise, you may try taking a glycine supplement before bedtime 2 nights a week and see if it helps to reduce your urination wake-up frequency. And of course, earlier, the glycine used in the research studies, they were talking about taking 2 capsules, 3 grams of glycine twice a day for 4 to 8 weeks. So this one appears to be very, very light on this. All in all, a healthier lifestyle with a diet low in salt and rich in legumes, supplemented with forskolin, will have a significant impact on your ADH release, which will have a substantial effect on your overnight urination. And there are a number of references here. And I'm going to go to the last search that I did, and I think this is going to be the conclusion. Here it is. Here's the last search. And that was, what is forskolin good for? It almost looks like the word foreskin, and we do know what foreskin is for. So the rabbi will have something kinky to chew on. And if you've never heard it before, the Jewish ritual of circumcision is pretty disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm not even going to go into it. I'm not going to tell any jokes about the rabbis and what they do to the foreskin. It's nasty though. Forskolin, a compound extracted from the root of the Coleus forscoheli plant, part of the mint family, has been used in traditional medicine and studied for various potential health benefits. Here's what is commonly associated with potential benefits of forskolin. Now, I'm going to copy this. I know this is going to go in my research. Copy, cut, and paste. And here's what it has to say. Forskolin, a compound extracted from the root of the Coleus forscoheli plant, part of the mint family, has been used in traditional medicine, studied for various potential health benefits. Here is what is commonly associated with potential benefits of forskolin. Include weight loss and muscle building. Some small studies suggest forskolin may help reduce body fat and increase testosterone levels, especially in overweight men. Asthma relief. Forskolin may help relax bronchial muscles by increasing cyclic AMP levels, similar to some asthma medications. Glaucoma treatment. It may help lower intraocular pressure, offering a possible alternative for glaucoma patients, especially those with asthma. And heart health. In limited studies, intravenous forskolin, meaning in your blood, improved heart function in patients with idiopathic congestive cardiomyopathy. Traditional uses, historically used to treat digestive issues, skin conditions, infections, menstrual problems, and even as an oral contraceptive. And it does talk about risks and side effects. That's very important. Possible risks or possible reactions include flushing, rapid heartbeat, low blood pressure, respiratory irritation, and eye discomfort have been reported. Drug interactions. Forskolin may interact with blood thinners and antiplatelet drugs. Pregnancy concerns. Traditionally used to induce menstruation, so it may not be safe during pregnancy. And scientific caveats. What did I do? What did I do? Undo that. Scientific caveats. And do this. Most benefits are based on small or preliminary studies. Optimal dosing and long-term safety have not been well established. So therefore, it should only be used under medical supervision. If you are considering taking forskolin supplements, it is wise to consult a healthcare provider to weigh the potential benefits and risks. So that's forskolin. And where would one get forskolin? Let me see if I can find it. Forskolin supplements. I'm going to look at Mr. Bezos since I had him open for something else I was doing today. Where is he? Mr. Bezos, are you on my desktop anywhere? I'll just pull him up. And forskolin supplements is what I'm looking for. Because I did find the glycine supplements, and there it is. And it's not that expensive. It can be gotten for less than $20. That's not bad. I'm not going to just click on it. I'm going to do more research into it before I decide that it's like. But it did talk about forskolin being good for benefits of forskolin. It did talk about the benefits for Nocturia. So we've done, I think, maybe a pretty good analysis of the available literature for today. I pulled up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, including the hilarious jokes. Let me give you a joke or two before we leave today. I hope you don't mind. And that joke about the dog pissing and moaning was pretty good. And I'm going to close with this one. Oh, this is a good one. I came up with this joke about a month ago. This is what I'm reading. I just remembered to post it. A young woman had a real big problem. All her life, it took her forever to go pee. Sometimes she would be sitting on the toilet for several minutes of agony before she could squeeze out a drop. But it also made her feel so self-conscious that she was scared to date, despite being a fairly attractive woman. Fed up, she finally went to a doctor. The doctor said the problem wasn't physical and said, "I've been told hypnosis can help in these situations." So off she went to visit the hypnotist. The hypnotist said, "No problem. We can fix this. All we have to do is come up with a command that will clearly tell your body what to do. Just make sure it's a word that people don't use in everyday conversation, or it could be trouble." After some long thought, the young woman came up with the word urinate. She figured the only time you would hear that word is around medical professionals. The hypnotist does his magic. Later, when the young woman gets home, she runs to the toilet, eager to test the solution. Nervously, she says, "Urinate," and it works right away. Thrilled, she immediately sets up a date with a man she's had her eye on. They meet up at a fancy restaurant for dinner and drinks. Things are going really well, and the young woman is really enjoying herself. A few drinks in, both of them are pretty buzzed. The young woman, dying to hear what her date is thinking, asks, "Be honest, what do you think of me?" He says, "Well, I think you're really smart, clever, and I love your laugh." Leaning forward seductively, she whispers, "You haven't said anything about my appearance." He replies, "Well, you're very pretty, but not like a supermodel, which I like. On a scale of 1 to 10, you're an 8." On a scale of 1 to 10, you're an 8. And of course, you know what she does right there on the spot. Why do men struggle to urinate with an erection? Because it's just too hard. So there is the brevity, the lightness. And I'm not even going to say this next one. It is right on the verge of nasty. So you can look up jokes. In fact, I did this. This is from upjokes.com. And let me put this link up to where you can have access to them as well. And save that. And bear with me. I got so many windows open. And I'm going to post this site for the jokes. There's where you get them. I put it up on Facebook, up on You Now, Rumble. That's where I put them. And there, not too many people hit the like button on today on Rumble. What was that? You guys didn't like today's show, huh? I'm sorry that you didn't like it. I did my best. Sometimes I acknowledge my best is not quite yet good enough. But it seems it's not enough. Angela Bofield. I got that woman, beautiful Angela Bofield's voice in my head all day long. I love Angela Bofield. And where am I at? What am I doing? I'm looking at this is unnecessary. This is necessary. And here's where I'm at. I'm pushing this up for our YouTube family. So if you want the jokes for today, you go to my Facebook page and you will see the jokes there. I'm going to paste it up one more place here on YouTube, on Rumble. I'll paste it up in the comment section because you may need a laugh a little bit later today. What a joy, what a joy it has been today. And I hope we put some real usable solutions on the table for dealing with this rather common condition, especially as we are aging. The condition gets more common among aging and elderly men. You've been tuned into LIV Radio, LIV TV, livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends. We have our own now. And we're very proud of what we have and who we are sharing it with. We're very proud to be a part of a global family. And I want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in today to LIV Radio, LIV TV, and livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends that we have our own now. And we're very proud of what we do. I did have some books that I pulled out for today. Living Superfood Solutions. We got to have solutions, y'all. And next book I pulled out was Miracle on 2 Feet, which is all about coming up with solutions to preventing and recovery from stroke. 100 plus lifespan. You are going to be elder. You're going to get older. And you are going to have these conditions come up. Well, this book is full of solutions. And lastly, Living Superfood Longevity, the classic book. This is one of the best books I ever published. And you should have a copy of Living Superfood Longevity in your library. On that note, I thank you all for tuning in today. It's been a good day here on LIV Radio. It's going to be a great day in your home, in your life. Thank you all for spending this time with me. It's been great. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.